Hi y'all, this is Susan. I am a little bit early getting so I can see questions and stuff. Let me this up. There we go. Let me pull that up. Alright, so I think that I am set up, so I am a little bit early still. Do the lights bother you? Let me try something. If the lights, how it looks. Does that look better? It's a little dark, isn't it? Alright, we gotta turn that light back on. Unfortunately, my mat here, which is a glass mat, it's a Tonic Studio Jim Holtz glass mat. It kind of reflects the light a little bit. So this down here at the bottom, where I just put my hand to cover it up, that is what is irritating me, but hopefully it's not irritating y'all. Alright, so if you are on, give me a thumbs up or a hello or a smile or a heart or even a frowny face if you really want to. So we'll get started here. So this card is a really simple card to make. The background is super simple. Everything about this is simple. It looks a lot more complicated than it is because of the background. But the background is really simple to create using the Tombow Dual Brush pens. These are the pens that I'm talking about right here. Now these pens, you can buy them in sets, and this actually is in a set called Galaxy. No, this isn't the Galaxy. I can't remember which one this one is. Galaxy is a different color set. But this set is, I don't know, it's like Spring Garden or something, I don't remember. I don't have the case for them because I keep them in my pen holder. But these are really neat pens. They are water reactive, they're water based, and so you can use them sort of like watercolor. So you're going to need, for this, you're going to need a white cardstock. This is 11 by 4 1/4. And then I scored it at 5 1/2. You're also going to need a little strip of white paper, and you're going to need a scrap of black paper, and you're also going to need some watercolor paper, which I failed to cut. So let me go on and do that for you. Let me go get my watercolor paper. You know me, usually I have these things prepared, but I didn't today. I have no excuse. It's just been kind of a weird day. It's been a weird week. All of this craziness about trying to keep up with toilet paper and cleaning wipes and the coronavirus, and it's just a little crazy. Life is that way sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down real quick. You need to cut the watercolor paper to 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Oops. And this will fit exactly on the front of the card. Get that other watercolor paper out of the way. All right. So the watercolor paper this size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you're going to want to have something to protect your desk, just a little bit. So I always just put a piece of paper underneath. I've actually am in the process, or I'm going to order a silicone mat, so I don't have to worry about this. I mean, I can do it on here, but I hate having to constantly wipe this one off. I like to be able to just move that and then continue work without having to wipe and dry it off. So that's why I do it. So we're going to take, I've picked the 5 markers. One is this purpley color, is number 685. Hi Kathy, how are you doing? Let's see, we got Vicky and Carrie and Joni. Good to see you. See, now that light's bugging me. Let's see if we can turn that off and make that better. I have this blue color here. It's kind of a turquoisey color, which is 403. I have this color, which is like a darker color. It's 379. I have this kind of a limey green color. It's 133. And then I have this pink color, which is 803. So those are the colors that we're going to be using. And we're going to be using the brush tips. We won't be using the other tips. Now, what's really cool about these markers is that they are water-based. So you can use them similar to what you would use watercolors. They react to water like watercolors. So you can make these pretty backgrounds like this, and they have that watercolory look. And you can't really see, but later we're going to put some sheen on this that's really pretty. Okay, so the first thing you do is you just randomly pick the markers, and you go on there and you just start scribbling on the colors. No rhyme, no reason, just get the color on there. They can cross like this. That's fine. They're going to cross anyway when you're doing them. So I'm just going to go, you're just going to color on here, and you can repeat different colors or whatever you want to do it. Just kind of get the colors on there. Oops, throw my pen lid around. Like I said, you can just go on there and repeat the colors. There's no rhyme or reason to this. There's my alarm, hang on. Good morning. Ha! See, I forgot to turn it to silent. Let me do that so we're not going to get interrupted again. See, I'm so professional. So we're just coloring these in. You want to color the entire thing. It doesn't have to be solid. You can see there's plenty of white left on my card topper here. You just want to kind of get as much color on there as you can. A little bit right there. All right. So we've got it completely colored. I know, isn't this pretty spring colors? I wish I could remember the color set that these came from. I actually purchased them at Walmart. They had, at our Walmart, they had 4 or 5 different sets of these Tombow brush pens there, and they were in sets. And I'll look and see if I can find the name of the color set, and I'll post it down below so you can find it easier, because it's nice to be able just to buy them in a set. They came with another color too. They also came with this red, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to use that for what I wanted, so I didn't use that one, but those are the colors used. But I'll look it up and I'll put it down in the comments what the name of it is. All right, so we've got it all colored on. Let me color a little bit in this corner, a little more. So it looks like a big hot mess, doesn't it? It doesn't look like it can be anything other than a bunch of scribbles. But then the magic happens. You will need a spray bottle. This is just a regular spray bottle. I've actually got it from the Grove Collaborative. One time when I ordered cleaning supplies, I got it for free, and I use it in my craft room. And you're just going to have it filled with water, and you're just going to squirt the water onto the card, onto the watercolor paper. And then you can take any kind of brush. I'm just using this water brush, and I am just going in there and I am blending it out like so, just in making sure all the white spaces are covered. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. You're also going to want to have a blow dryer or a heat gun. I'm going to be using a heat gun. You also, hi Betty, you're also going to use a little bit of regular table salt, and you're just going to sprinkle that up. And what the table salt does is it absorbs some of the color, so you get these really kind of cool technique looking things going on here. So we're going to take our heat gun, and sorry this is going to be loud, but you're going to heat this up. Just as a tip, as an idea, I use my bone folder to kind of hold it down flat. Each time you do this, it's going to look a little different. This one's probably not going to be quite as rich looking as this one is, but that's okay. So I'm going to hold this down, and I'm going to blow dry it, and this is going to take a little bit of time. I wish there was a way. Oops, I see a spot that didn't get any color. Sometimes you'll find a spot that doesn't have any color. You just go in there with your water brush and make sure, especially these corners, it seems like that's the ones that always are along the edge. All right, back to the blow dryer. Sorry, this is gonna be loud. As you see, the colors start brightening up as they dry. And I'm going to take this off of that paper because that paper is really wet. All right, so the next thing that you're going to do is you're just going to brush off that excess salt. Brush it off, and as you can see, I'll pull it up here. This is an area where some of the salt was. Let's see if I can get it in the picture. There we go. So you see how it absorbed a little bit of the color? It just gives it an added dimension. So this is what our card topper looks like right now. It's really pretty. It's different from this one, but that's okay. I did the colors a little bit differently. So after we get all the salt brushed off of it, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to spray it with some Perfect Pearl spray. Now Perfect Pearls comes in a little container. Let me get it like this. And it is a powder. This is in the Perfect Pearl color. It comes in different colors, but it's a powder. You mix in about a teaspoon of it into this water bottle. This is a Tim Holtz Distress Sprayer, and I think it's 2 ounces of water. And you mix a teaspoon in there with the water, fill it up, and you shake it up every time you use it. So we're going to just spray it onto the page. Now what this does is it gives it a beautiful pearlized spray look. We're also going to just take our paper towels now. Remember, this is water reactive. And we're just going to roll off the excess water. And again, when you see, it's going to add even more kind of texture and depth to the card. It took off some of the color, but it leaves a beautiful, beautiful sheen. And I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but it's a pearlized sheen that it leaves on the card, and it's really, really pretty. So we're going to set this aside for a little bit and let it kind of dry a little bit more. And then we're going to go on to the next step, which is to create the cross image. So you're going to need the little piece of black cardstock. I'm using a stamp set from Sweet and Sassy Stamps. It's called Rustic Easter. It's by Jennifer Nielsen. It's really a pretty one. We're going to be using this stamp right here. It's a cross with the 2 nails inside of it, which is really beautiful stamps. And we're also going to be using He's Risen for the sentiment. Now we are going to stamp this with our VersaMark ink because we are going to cover it with embossing powder so it really pops off of that black cardstock. And I just used my Misty. It's a mini Misty. Had somebody ask me the other day, what kind of Misty is that? This is the mini Misty. I couldn't afford the big Misty right now, so I have a mini Misty, and it actually is perfect for cards, which is what I do most of the time anyway, so it's fine. So I'm going to ink up this cross image with my VersaMark. This is just the VersaMark watermark stamp pad. I'm just going to stamp that up and then just stamp it onto the card, this piece of black cardstock. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be even because you're going to fussy cut around it. I don't know if you can really see the image, but it is absolutely perfect. All right, so now we're going to cover that with some white. This is actually the Opaque Bright White Superfine Embossing Powder by Wow. I use a variety of different ones, but I really like this Wow powder. I really like it. It's really super fine, so it gets all of the little details. And that's important if you really want your details to show up, is to use a super white, a super fine powder. Some of the powders, I didn't realize this, were not, really as fine as this. And so get the super fine if you can find it. And it allows it just really helps with the images. Now I have a little bit here that's left on here that I'm just going to kind of brush off gently. I didn't run my powder pad, my anti-static powder bag across it. So it's kind of I want to make sure I got all of that excess white off. So now we are going to go in again. We're going to be using our heat gun. So it's going to get noisy again. We'll let it get warm. And then I'm just going to start melting the white embossing powder. Okay, so the embossing powder is all done, and I have to get better at looking over here at the comments here. Let's see, Carrie, yes, table salt is really simple, but it takes away enough of the color that it kind of gives some nice little texture to it and dimension. Say hi to Donna, and Tanya is watching. Hi, Tanya. All right, so we've got this all embossed, so we're going to go in there with a gold gel pen. I'm going to be using these. These are by Uniball. I'm going to put it up here where maybe you can see it here. Let's see. They're the Uniball Gel Impact. Let's see if it'll let it. Oops, I'm moving away, not to. It's a Gel Impact, and it is in a 1mm pen. I got these off of Amazon. I don't know if you can get them anywhere else. But that's what I use. And so we're going to come in here and we're going to color in the part of the nails here with the gold. This adds a pretty shine to the card and adds a little bit of detail to the front of the card to make it stand out a little bit. So tell me, how are things in y'all's area? Are they as crazy as they are here in Texas? We are out of toilet paper. Walmart cannot even keep up. Hi, Tina Marie. I'm from Texas, too. You have to tell me where you're from. I'm from the Fort Hood area. We actually live in a little town called Coppers Cove. We're over here by the big Fort Hood military base. My husband is retired Army. All right, so we're going to just continue coloring that in with the gold. Now it's not wanting to write. Let me see if I can get it to write again. If it doesn't want to write, there it goes. I have another one, so for some reason that one's not wanting to write. Let me grab another one. I have 3 of them. I will grab the other 2 to make sure that they are working for me. Hi, Deborah. Tennessee. My brother-in-law lives in Tennessee. Very beautiful country. Okay, so we're just going to color these in, the gold parts in. This really kind of makes the image stand out in the center, the part with the nails. Okay, so we've colored that in. I don't know if you can really see the gold metallic or not on camera, but it's really pretty in real life. So we're going to go in here and we're going to fussy cut this. Hi, Jennifer. All right, so we're going to fussy cut. The bane of my existence. I really don't like fussy cutting. I really want to get one of those Brothers scanning cuts. One of these days, maybe I will be able to afford one. But that's okay. In the meantime, I will fussy cut, even though it's not my favorite thing to do. I'm actually, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to turn on this light again. I can't see the fussy cut well enough. We have a rainy, icky day out here today, but at least the cedar is not so bad. And as you can tell from my last video, I'm starting to sound normal again. The cedar isn't killing me anymore. I'm not quite as nasally as I was, thank goodness. I was worried that people were going to look at me and think I had the coronavirus and like quarantine me. That wouldn't be fun. Actually, if I'm quarantined at home, I wouldn't complain too much because, you know, I have a room full of crafts to keep me busy. And plus my husband and my son would be here. My son is upset with me because we homeschool, and so he doesn't get out of school like all the rest of the kids. But I told him, I said, you know what? You finish up on your normal time, you know, you're going to have more of a longer summer than some of these kids are, so don't complain too much. He's like, I know, but, you know, he's a teenager, and they've got to complain about something, right? All right, so we've got our little cross cut out, and we are going to stamp the sentiment onto this little slip here. First of all, though, I'm going to take this one off, and it needs to get into my stamp chamois, which has no water, to get that sticky VersaMark off. It is very sticky, so you want to make sure that you have it good and clean on your stamps because it can clog up the finer areas of your stamp. So get it good and cleaned off here. All right, so I'm going to set that aside for now. I'm going to take a baby wipe. I'm going to wipe down my, I get hold of one, my stamp chamois. For some reason, it has a little bit of that VersaMark on there. I'm just going to wipe it down, and then I'll just take a sheet of paper towel and dry that off before I put in the other stamp. All right, so we're just going to stamp it on here, and this is a little bit long, so I'm just going to tear it because we're going to cut this down anyway. We're going to put the He Is Risen on here, a little piece of hair, cat hair. The cat likes to get up on my desk. She's discovered that she can get on my desk now. So she gets up here sometimes and gets into my stuff. So I've got to make sure and shut the door and keep her locked out of my craft room. She specifically likes my ribbon. I came in here one day and I had left some ribbon on my desk and it was all over the room. All right, so we are going to stamp that on here. And it's good and bright, so I don't need to stamp it again. And so I'm just going to trim this down. What I do, I'm hoping this is in camera. Let's see, oops. Make sure it's kind of in camera. Is I try to line up the bottom of these letters with the bottom right here. I don't know if you can really see it. Let me get it on there. I'm trying to get it as straight as I can. I get one of these bottom ones done first. And there we go. And I'm just going to trim it. And then now I can just put it over here on this edge and I line the letter up with that side right there where it just starts to barely peek through and just go over it. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard to see it without really seeing it really well. So that's going to go across like that. And this helps to kind of keep it reasonably even and not crooked, because I'm known for doing crooked things. It never fails. I always get something on crooked. Okay, so we have all of the pieces that we need to assemble the card. So let's assemble. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue our piece of paper just to the front of the card. Just like so, which is like crooked or something. Yeah, it's not folded correctly. That's what drives me nuts. Let's see if I can fix that. It was hand folded, so it kind of got a little wonky. Let's see if that's better. Yeah, that's better. All right, so we're just going to use my art glitter glue. Let's see if it'll come out for me, if I'm going to have to stick a pin in it to get it empty. There it goes. Sometimes the nozzle gets stopped up and I have to stick a straight pin in it to clear it out. So I'm just going to glue this down to the front of the card. We're just going to back it into each other like this. The nice thing about these cards, about this glue, is that you can adjust it. And see, it's still not centered, but that's okay. The card, not this. That's good. So a little piece of that edge is showing, but that's okay. That's me being a perfectionist, and I need to not worry about it. I need to shift that around. You can always trim off the white if you need to, if it bugs you. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is these are popped up with some foam tape. I ran out of foam tape, so I had to order more. I get this actually on Walmart. I mean, not Walmart, at Amazon. These big rolls. It comes in two or three big rolls. I don't remember. And it lasts for a really long time, especially when you use a lot of this kind of tape. All right, so I'm just going to attach the tape onto the back of the cross, and we're just going to get that on there. You can always trim some off if you need to, if any's peeking through once I get it turned around here. Actually, that's pretty good. We're going to cut some little pieces to go here for the arms of the cross. Now, they're not as wide, so I go on and just trim this in half. And then I just put the pieces like this, and they're going to hang over a little bit. I'll come trim them off. Actually, they didn't. Okay, that looks good. Then we're going to just put another strip of this onto the back of the sentiment. Just like so. Put the tape up. And then we're just going to glue, put these onto the front of the card. Get it unstuck for my fingers. Kind of make it sure it's centered where it's a little bit closer to the top so you have room for the sentiment on the bottom. And then he is risen right underneath, centered underneath. And that is how easy the card is. It's a very simple card to make. The Tombow Dual Brush pens really do most of the work to make this. I mean, everything else is really pretty simple. You can see how beautiful these turned out. So here they are side by side. I actually like this one a little bit better because I have a thing for galaxies, and I think this one looks more like a galaxy to me. But I think this one's beautiful with more of the yellow. It's a little bit more of a kind of pastel colors. You could use any color for the background. These were the ones that I thought to use. They have another set that you can get. Let me pull that out. It's actually a pastel one set. This is it. So it's a pastel colors. That would be beautiful on the background as well. I wanted something a little bit bright, so that's the reason why I chose these. I wanted something a little bit different, and I was really wanting to kind of create kind of that universe look, but not quite as dark. So that's the cards. They're really pretty. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I will try my best to answer them. And that's really it. It was a really quick tutorial because it's a really quick card. It really doesn't take long. 23 minutes. That's not long at all. On the inside, you can put whatever you want. You put paper, whatever it is that you want. I just have it blank for now because I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with these cards. I'm actually thinking I may give these to our pastors for Easter. We have 3 pastors. We have 4 pastors. So I need to make 2 more if I'm going to do that. But they're really simple, very pretty cards. So that's what I have. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I will talk to y'all later. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Bye, guys.